Welcome back to Veteran Game. If you love unique games, clever writing, and murder mysteries where every conversation counts, you're in the right place. Before we get into the secrets behind the bar, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives and honest takes. Your support keeps this community growing. Let's set the mood. Dim lights, jazz in the background, the clink of glassware. Welcome to Best Served Cold, a narrative murder mystery where you're not just a bartender, you're also the city's unofficial private eye. But unlike your average hard-boiled detective story, you won't be chasing clues through dark alleys or sneaking around crime scenes. Here, your detective work happens entirely behind the bar. Picture it, the Nightcap, last speakeasy in the crumbling city of Bukovi. It's the kind of place where everyone has a secret and the world outside is just as bleak as the stories your customers bring inside. Prohibition's in full swing, war is looming, and every customer is both a potential friend and a suspect. You play as a bartender with a checkered past, just trying to keep your head down, until a drink served to the wrong customer gets you tangled up in a string of murders and a deal with a not-so-brilliant detective. That's your hook. Mix the right drinks, loosen the right tongues, and piece together the truth. One cocktail at a time. Gameplay is refreshingly simple but full of personality. Your main tools? Cocktails, conversations, and your ability to read people. You chat up your regulars, learn their favorite drinks, and gently push for information without getting them too drunk or too suspicious. Each customer has their own preferences, quirks, and secrets. Sometimes, getting someone to spill the beans means getting them a little tipsy. Other times, push too far and they'll clam up or just leave. The result is a game about social finesse, think less Phoenix Wright, more Agatha Christie with a cocktail shaker. Dialogue is the real star here. The writing is witty, sharp, and loaded with personality. Every regular at the Nightcap has their own voice, their own drama, and by the end you'll probably care more about their messy lives than the cases themselves. There's a cast of over 20 suspects and confidants, and every conversation matters. The game doesn't hold your hand or give you obvious hints. You have to pay attention, remember details, and ask the right questions at the right time. If you skim, you'll miss things, sometimes literally. You get 16 game days to solve each case, and at the end of each night, you return home to your pinboard, connecting clues and evidence with the famous red string. It sounds more detective-y than it actually is. Sometimes it's more trial and error than true deduction, but it fits the cozy, slow burn pace. The real detective work happens in your head. Who's lying, who's deflecting, and who's drowning their guilt at the bottom of a glass. Best Served Cold isn't about high-stakes action or big aha moments. It's a game about getting to know people, about observation, about the way someone's story changes after 3 drinks versus 1. There's a sense of lived-in melancholy here. The world is run down, the people are broken, but there's still humor, warmth, and the occasional wild confession. One night you're mediating a lover's quarrel. The next, you're picking up on a political scandal hiding in plain sight. There's even a touch of the modern progressive attitudes, inclusive characters, and a story that isn't afraid to break from the typical noir mold. The art direction is pure visual novel with a noir twist. Characters are drawn with big expressive features, think caricature but elegant. The backgrounds drip with smoky European speakeasy vibes. Music and sound design complete the mood. Jazz and blues blend into the background, the sound of pouring gin, and the creak of old floorboards, making you feel like you're right there behind the bar. Now, the weak spots, the cocktail minigame. It's more of a time killer than a challenge. Just trace a path with your mouse or stick, avoid making mistakes, and that's about it. The detective board, while atmospheric, becomes a bit of a connect everything and see what works routine. After a few cases, the gameplay can feel repetitive. Mechanically, this isn't a game that's going to blow your mind. There's also no voice acting, so you'll be reading a lot of text, but the font and accessibility options make it easy enough for most players. But what Best Served Cold lacks in complexity, it makes up for with strong, consistent writing and a world that feels genuinely lived in. It's less about gameplay innovation and more about delivering a satisfying story-rich experience. If you're here for the plot twists, character drama, and soaking up that noir atmosphere, you're going to have a great time. If you want deep mechanics or a real bartending sim, you might find yourself checking your watch between plot reveals. Final word. Best Served Cold is a perfect palate cleanser game. Something to play when you want a break from action or endless grinding, but still want to get sucked into a good story. It's a thoughtful, well written, and stylishly executed mystery. Not flawless, but definitely memorable. So, will you crack the case or will you just become everyone's favorite bartender? Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to Veteran Game for more bold opinions, deep dives, and everything gaming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time at the bar.